Our job is to uphold the Constitution, and that's exactly what we're doing. I join my colleagues when I share my heartfelt thanks for the work of the frontline officers and agents who put their lives on the line every day in support of this great nation. Thank you.
Okay, we'll take some questions.
Todd, will you
Director Lyons, can you speak to the roughly 50%?
Hang on one second, we'll get ABC News here. Luke?
Two questions. Number one, do you have any update on the Milford teenager that was detained by ICE over the weekend, and where is he? Do you have any status on where that person is, maybe Patricia or and then the second question is, the attacker in Colorado overstated visa, and according to DHS, is in the U.S. illegally. Do you have any information on the suspect? Was he on law enforcement's radar? And can you tell us more about his immigration status?
So I'll take the I'll take Colorado first. So I'll defer to the FBI on that one. It's an active joint terrorism investigation, obviously. Still in the early stages that ICE was able to identify that he had overstayed his visa. While he did have a work authorization permit, it was expired. So with that, I will say that there are millions of individuals like this that we are attempting to locate from the past administration that weren't properly screened, that were allowed in. I will tell you that's a huge effort for ICE right now. In regards to this gentleman, I can't give you any intel as far as it's a joint terrorism task force investigation, and more will be coming out, but I'll defer to my partners in the FBI for that one.
Well, wait, what about Marcelo Gomes Silva over the weekend?
In regard to Marcelo Gomes, he remains in ICE custody. He was not the target of the investigation, but like we have repeatedly said, sanctuary policies put us in a position to go out into communities and look for people. When jurisdictions don't cooperate with ICE and we don't arrest people in custodial arrests, then we must go out into the community. And when we go out into the community and we find others who are unlawfully here, we are going to arrest them. We've been completely transparent with that. He's 18 years old. He's unlawfully in this country. And unfortunately, we had to go to Milford to look for someone else, and we came across him, and he was arrested. That's where that stands.
We're looking for someone dangerous and violent?
Well, I'll take that one. So we're looking for his father. So obviously he's the father of the year because brought his son up here illegally as well. And yes, we had intelligence from a local law enforcement agency. We were looking for the father. And like Field Officer Director High said, they made a traffic stop on that vehicle, which was the father's vehicle. He was driving that vehicle. But like any local law enforcement officer, if you encounter someone that has a warrant, or like I said, is here illegally, we will take action on that. We're doing the job that ICE should have been doing all along, and that we enforce all immigration laws.
What's
So
the
what is
danger on his
dangerous?
father?
What is
What's the
dangerous
danger on his
about a
father?
high school junior? He was about to play in the graduation ceremony, play in the band the next day. I guess what is the danger of the 18-year-old to that community?
So I'll put it back on you. What about an 18-year-old who's just stopped for a traffic violation by Mass State Police, who's wanted to be a habitual traffic offender on his way to graduation? Would you be asking that same question to the Mass State Police for not arresting him? Like, I didn't say he was dangerous. I said he's in this country illegally, and we're not going to walk away from anybody.
So where is he? Is he having due process? Does he have a lawyer?
Yeah, well, the whole due process thing, ICE doesn't just scoop people off the street and remove them. Everyone gets due process, and that is what the U.S. Attorney's Office for. It's what the immigration courts are for. They all do that. He will go in front of an immigration judge. He'll have the opportunity to post bond. But again, I'm just going to ask you a question. Boston police stopped an 18-year-old on the way to high school. Are we having this conversation right now?
Well, there would be a crime. There would be some evidence that we would...
It happens every day. Every day. There are multiple 18-year-olds arrested. But yet, we are focused on this one. And I will say, his dad hasn't turned himself in yet, and his dad knows he's the target of it. So.
What's his dad targeted for? What's his dad targeted for?
Sorry, do you have a thought?
Question. So the governor says Massachusetts is not a sanctuary state, but your teams don't receive assistance when you hit like all these different counties across, not just in Boston, but in these other suburbs and places across the state. So what's your response to the governor on that, and how difficult is it for your teams to not get that assistance? Like when you went to Operation Tidal Wave in Florida, it's a different scenario. You come to Boston, it seems like it's a little bit more difficult.
I think it's a matter of semantics, right? We can say we're not a sanctuary state, but when people are arrested for local charges, drug traffickers who are peddling poison in our communities are walking out the door, not turned over to ICE, what does that sound like to all of you? That's sanctuary. when states and local jurisdictions don't cooperate with ICE and they let bad actors walk out into the community, they let child rapists just walk back out, $500 bail, that is sanctuary. So it's fine to say that you're not, but your actions absolutely show something different.
I have a
As for
follow-up.
the search-
Can I
as for the
Reuters,
search
can I ask
operation,
Reuters to ask a question?
U.S. Supreme Court last week halted a ruling out of Boston that had blocked the administration from revoking immigration parole for about 500,000 Venezuelan, Cuban, Haitian, and Nicaraguan migrants. And then a couple weeks earlier, the Supreme Court also allowed the administration to end TPS for thousands of Venezuelans. Could you talk about to the extent ICE is now arresting or detaining people that were covered by those programs, and give us any sense of what the scale of that would look like?
Well, in that case, I would refer you over to Citizen Immigration Services. They handle that. ICE is only the enforcement arm of the immigration process. So I can just say that anyone that does no longer has protective status would be in this country legally, and ICE would take an enforcement action.
As for the search, can you tell me more about the search operation here and exactly, what are the officers, where are the officers coming from to try to help in terms of resources? Are these actual ICE agents or officers, or are they being contracted outside of the agency? And also, how do you know that they're properly vetted here to conduct and follow the same laws?
So what I can tell you is no one's contracted. All the partners up here are Title VIII immigration designated officers, so every federal agency has a Title VIII authority. So these are